Wait a minute. Who am I here? Okay. Booktube. That's what we're doing right now. This is Eric. I'm back with another video. Just want to show a couple books I picked up earlier this week. Locally, we have like a 2-block radius where there's a Salvation Army, there's a PTSO thrift store, and then there's a recycle reuse center, all of which have books, records, DVDs, VHS tapes. Some of them are better for one thing than another. And in the area where I live, books seems to be pretty decent. So I went to the reuse recycle center. Unbeknownst to me, all their books apparently were a quarter. So I picked up some Nick Carter, 80s men's adventure stuff. I've started picking these up when they're cheap. I think I already had that one, but whatever. This one is my blind buy based on the cover. Deadly Spring. This seems like a 70s kind of horror thing. Deadly Chemical released the savage nature of everyone in town. I don't know, for a quarter it was worth it. This one I knew was a quarter because I had it on a sale table. But this is the report of the President's Commission on Campus Unrest. There's some 70s hippie exploitation kind of stuff for you. Why Berkeley? Why Columbia? Why Kent State? Why Jackson State? I picked this up because I want to see what kind of propaganda this is, and I want to take a look and see what it has to say about law enforcement response, and I want to see if University of Michigan or Michigan State University are involved here. I went to Michigan State and I worked at University of Michigan, and I live in the shadow of the University of Michigan, so I'm kind of interested in that. You know, University of Michigan is one of the places that was rumored. You want to start a riot over nothing in the 60s, you go to U of M or you go to Berkeley. All right. Matt Helm, Donald Hamilton, The Detonators. I started picking these up. I think I read a couple of these way back in the day. I don't really remember them, but if I see them cheap, I pick them up. This was another blind buy. John Strackley, Coldwater Burning. I've heard his name around. Never read any of his books, so I figured I would check that out. Alas, Babylon. If you like the post-apocalyptic adventure genre, this is probably the first book of that style of adventure novel that wasn't about mutant bugs or any of that on the beach kind of thing that came before. From the 60s, I have a copy of this somewhere, but for a quarter, sold. And then finally at the Reuse Center, they had a couple of Travis McGee books, including one that I do have. If I'd known they were a quarter, I probably would have picked that one up. But this is the first one, The Deep Blue Goodbye. I've got a couple copies of this. It's a nice, clean 80s edition. Looks like it hasn't been read at all. So this is a book that I would give to somebody who's never read a McDonald book. Because it's one of the better ones of the first 10 or so, which is as many as I've read. So then I went to our PTSO thrift shop. So the Ann Arbor Public Schools have a thrift shop that raises money for the schools and is a way for people to donate stuff. And I get lucky there, mostly with books, occasionally with music, but Donald Westlake had never heard of Castle in the Air. 50 cents, sold. This looks to be a 70s Westlake. They're advertising this as author of The Dancing Aztecs, which is one of his great comedy capers, so I figured why not. Anyway, that's my pickups. This weekend, I'm intending to go to East Lansing and hit their Goodwills and their thrift shops and a bookstore or two that I know of and see what I can scare up. So, if you know anything about any of these books or have any comments or questions, leave them below. And thanks for checking out the video.